I did share some profile pictures, de-identified profile pictures that I have collected over my online dating. They speak for themselves in their horror. Australian men in particular really don't sell themselves online. They almost do the opposite. They like work hard to repel you, and they're exceptionally good at that. I love men, you know, I love Australian men, but there's a real like laziness in their efforts. And this is a well-known, this is not me talking, like I've read news articles about this, you know, this is fact.
There's a self-awareness that women have. And when it comes to the dating apps, I mean, I was with a single friend on the FaceTime the other day and I said, can I just show you? Because, you know, she's hasn't gone on the apps and we were scrolling through hundreds of men that were pursuing me. So many fish, so many big fish. I don't understand the fish. I don't. Or the close-ups this close to your face. Like,
or the toilet selfie, the bathroom. I don't want to see your filthy toilet, mate.
No, I know. But there's, I guess she was saying exactly what you were saying. She was like, why don't they put more effort into putting the photos? I mean, women do that, but gay men do that. But a lot of straight men out there I've found really they'll just, I'm sorry. As I said, I love them.
I love it. People take photos on the toilet in the bathroom.
Not Jessica.
Yeah, in the bathroom. So you see their filthy bathroom, you know.
Selfies in the bathroom.
Yeah, in the bathroom mirror, like holding the phone with the bathroom mirror.
With their ex-girlfriend, but with the face blurred.
Yeah. Or a smiley face on it, or a clown face.
There's a lot of smiley clown faces, or they'll do a profile photo with like 4 guys together, and you're like, well, which one are you?
Totally. That happens all the time. It's like, where's Wally?
Where's Wally?
Do I get all 4 of you? Or do I get to pick?
Oh my gosh, Jessica, thank you so much for joining me today with the amazing Tanya Burne. I'm sorry that Shelly wasn't able to be here, but Shelly, you're with us in spirit. Always. And you know, Tanya's incredible because she's not only a professional actor, director, and writer. She's worked for 20 years, but she's also worked as a social worker. She's had extreme tragedy in her life and yet continues to like be her authentic, inspiring self. And as a mom of a 10-year-old, a single mom, she has found an outlet with her creative self through her Instagram page, which ironically is how I met her, because she calls it her alter ego. But this page brings me so much joy and so much laughter. And she's real. And she's accumulated this incredible audience. And people are really connecting with her. And it's fabulous. And she has a one-woman show that she's working on. And it's just, anyway, I'm talking a lot, but I loved this conversation with her.
Same. Seeing that Instagram, it was funny. You were saying how I was just laughing at every single post.
It's called Unhinged Undone. And they're just short clips, short reels. She's mastered it absolutely by being authentic and by saying things that a lot of people are afraid to say. And she didn't know that it would take off in this way, but it's inspired her to continue working on her, her web series, which I'm super excited about for her. So this conversation could have gone on for hours. We love you, Tanya. We're so happy that you could be with us. I highly recommend taking the time to listen to this episode with the amazing Tanya Burne. Let's dive in. At Unhinged Undone.
Unhinged Undone.
It's so good.
It is so good.
Yeah,
my husband was laughing too. So I mean,
yay!
You are reaching everybody.
No. Some guys, they see a reel, they start following, they see a few more reels, they unfollow very quickly. But some of them hang on and they get it. Like they get it.
I mean, you're seeking truth. This is the 3rd podcast interview now that we're going to talk about radical honesty, but like it's so honest.
That's what I want to be in everything. That's that for me, I want to be on my deathbed and never think I should have been more real. I should have been more honest. People should have known who I was. You know, I don't, yeah, they're fun. It's fundamental to my well-being. I got to say, Cher, I am a chronic oversharer, but you almost put me to shame.
I was like telling you everything. Like,
I know. I love that. Don't ever stop.
My dating life, everything. I was just like, wow. Because I just felt comfortable, and I felt like you get me and I get you. And, you know, I try to be very honest and transparent with people all of the time. Publicly, I do try as much as I can to be vulnerable and to be honest and uplift others and, you know, hold that. There are certain things in my personal life that I don't share, but I want to one day. Know that I think that I'm going to get to that point where I can be unabashedly, is that the word? Truthful.
Yeah.
And we're all
perfect.
We're all
perfect. What is
perfect.
perfection? I don't think it exists. Perfection is the imperfection.
That's what I try to teach my dancers too. You know, like a lot of the time at the beginning of the class, I'll have them move around. We'll get warm, and then I have them, you know, I say face the person closest to you, and look at them, and then they get kind of nervous, and I'm like, no, really look at them. Look how beautiful and unique they are. You know, we're all in this together. It's not about competition. It's not about like trying to have one up on someone else. If we create community, we can create magic. And that starts in the dance studio. And, you know, then I'm like, if you want to high five or shake hands or give your friend a hug, tell them they're beautiful. And then they're all like, and you like hug each other. And it's like a whole love fest. And it's just such a nice energy in the room to start creation process, you know, like.
So. Oh, your students are very lucky.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Because we all crave that. We all crave those opportunities. And I got to say that was, you know, unhinged, the content in the play, web series, whatever it is. It's so brutally honest that it is terrifying. But that's why I know it's good. And that's why I know it's right. It's it's not, it's funny and it's about dating and whatever, but it's about my relationship with sex and my body. And it touches on, you know, date rape, child sexual abuse, sexual harassment, because these things, like, I don't want to carry them and have them buried. I need them aired out. I need people to understand that these things happen to women all the time. And I feel like when you share it and you claim it and you process it, because it's historical, it's not happening to me now, and I can work through it. And I use theatre to do that, and I use stories to do that. And it makes other women feel not isolated in their experience, you know, like, and I don't do it to shock, and I don't do it to upset anyone, but for me, that is my experience of being a woman and my relationship with my body. And I'm not who I am without that. And there's some real, like, liberation in being able to talk about it and to be able to share it and to laugh about it and to heal. It's healing. And that's what art does for people. And you know, sure, even you saying to students, look at each other, you know, and see each other, that can be incredibly powerful and provocative and terrifying for people. Why? You know, like, why? What are we afraid of? You know? So I know that if I'm doing something terrifying, that it's 100% the right thing for me to do. And that's always a good kind of test.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a real thing to take away. That's yeah. If it's terrifying, then you lean in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have to be scared. We have to put ourselves in situations where we're terribly uncomfortable. We have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I say that all the time. Everyone's so tired of hearing me say that, but it is so true. And it is so hard to do.
Mm.
Can you tell us a bit about your son?
Oh, yeah.
How he's affected by
I might
your
cry, though. I actually had zero maternal desire, not until I was in my mid-30s. And something happened in my mid-30s that allowed me to see myself in a very different light. And that was my mum being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And I became her primary carer. And that experience of helping my mother die, I guess it made me aware that I actually have this ability to handle crisis or to care for someone or to be with people in their most vulnerable state and be okay. Like I could carry it. And I carried that for my father and, my family. And it was a fucking privilege. And it recalibrated my view of myself. And it wasn't until then that I actually thought I would be a good mother. I just, I was very centered on, creating art as opposed to creating a person. So as it transpired, I had him at 41 and, you would know, Cher, that is classified as advanced maternal age or geriatric pregnancy. These are the terms. These are the terms they use.
I was 41 too, and it's like it's so stupid. Anyway, whatever. Please continue.
Yeah. And he was very much wanted. He his father was infertile due to cancer treatment, so we had to endure IVF. And he was, I've got a picture of him in a Petri dish as a 4-day blastocyst.
Wow.
And he was my second transfer. I lost the first one and he was the second one. And I knew after the transfer that he was going to hang on, and he did. We had another kind of challenge in the birthing, and I guess this is a trigger warning for birth trauma. If anyone doesn't want to deal with a story about that. I had this vision of me being a young old mum with the baby carrier and, doing yoga and hanging out with my mum's group. But the reality of my early motherhood was the opposite of that. I sustained quite considerable spinal injury and a fractured sacrum. And so the first 6 months of Toby's life, I was unable to move. I was flat in bed, and I had to heal my sacrum before I could have spinal surgery, which I did have at about 6 months. And I had to let go of all these, I guess, these myths about, a mother has to be the primary, the mother has to skin on skin, the breastfeeding. I had to just let that go. We were alive, and I had to hand him over. I had to let other people do the caring. And it's taken 10 years for me to be able to talk about it without being completely re-traumatized. But, we made it through that. And it probably did destroy my relationship, how taxing that was. But it didn't destroy Toby. It certainly didn't destroy our attachment. And he's become a resilient little Buddha. I was saying to Cher, I think there's something about that he didn't get everything, he had to be okay in other people's arms. I couldn't lift him for 2 years. I needed other people to do the lifting, like the physical lifting. So he has learnt that love comes and caring comes in all different forms, and being a mother, it is wonderful, but it really was one of the most traumatic things I've ever experienced. And no one prepared me for the physical disability and the mental disability, really. I had a therapist who would come to my home and sit with me. Thank God for my neighbours, my friends, my extended family. You know, I didn't have my mum. I didn't have my sister. I didn't have, you know, like family there to kind of just move in and pick things up. It was, yeah, it was tough. And I guess I had to grieve. I had to grieve my idea of being a mum.
Yeah. And you found your tribe
Oh, yeah.
at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I did. You know, but we don't live in communities anymore that is a kind of natural kind of state. I had to go and ask.
It's so hard to ask. We've spoken about that so many times before, how hard it is to ask when you don't have family around you. Everyone is so busy. And
Yeah.
especially if you're an independent person like you are,
Yeah.
hardest thing is to ask. You were forced to ask during this
Yeah.
like perfect experience. I love it how you speak about how he's become so resilient and how your relationship is so special, even though you were not able to pick him up for the first 2 years of his life. And I also love how you speak about how going through, you know, the trauma that you did with losing your mom made you realize that you have the capacity to hold that space for another human being. And Jessica, I don't know if you feel a little comfortable saying this because I saw you crying when you were listening to Tanya. But
I have a similar thing. My mom died right before my daughter was born. So she died, and then we decided to conceive. But when she died, yeah, something just changed. Something shifted.
Yeah. Oh, it was a palpable shift, and it also led me to getting a job working in a homeless shelter, one of the biggest crisis centres in Melbourne, and I just felt like I had a capacity to give, and I could handle drug affected people. I could handle people that were suffering from mental illness or living in crisis, family violence. I just felt I wanted to be in that. And again, I felt like it was a privilege to do that work too. Because we live in this, again, we do, we need to check our privilege. And I don't know, things happen and they put things in perspective, and it really changes your journey in ways you can't predict. And if you're open to that, it can be wonderful.
Creative Mamas Unplugged is produced by Breatheasy Productions with music by Jeremy Jurin. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give my mama 5 stars and keep coming back. Thanks to us kids, there are plenty of stories to tell, and you are not alone.
We are inspired by you. Thank you for joining our Creative Mamas community. Support Creative Mamas Unplugged on Patreon to get your name in the credits, receive extra content, and earn some fun prizes. With this, we can keep creating, uplifting, and growing this incredible community together. We love you so much. Applause.